I'm going to address the state of Ukraine's defense and the counter-offensive efforts in the context of Russia's ongoing terror campaign. Specifically, I want to explore Russia's recent drone attacks on Ukrainian recruitment offices, attacks that starkly expose the lie that's often repeated in propaganda that Ukraine simply drags people off the street to fight in the trenches. This is a lie which is peddled even in the comments section on this channel, often by people like Tony Dick. After all, if Ukrainians were unwilling to volunteer and were not queuing around the block to sign up in the recruitment offices, there'd be no need to bomb the places they sign up in the first place. So once again, the Kremlin's propaganda is exposed as rubbish by their own hand, by their own bombs. In the past 2 weeks, Russia has been deliberately targeting at least 5 Ukrainian military draft offices in cities like Kharkiv, Zaporizhia, Kryvyi Zelensky's own hometown, Poltava, and Kremenchuk. And these attacks injured over 70 people, with drones striking in broad daylight in quick succession. An act of terrorism designed not just to kill, but to terrorize, disrupt mobilization, and sow doubt. These centers are crucial nodes of Ukraine's mobilization effort. They process new recruits, manage deferrals, oversee training, assignments, and contrary to Kremlin narratives, Ukraine's recruitment system has been remarkably resilient, with President Zelensky citing a monthly mobilization capacity of around 27,000. But there's a recognized shortage on the front lines, of course, which these attacks aim to worsen. It's worth noting that if Ukraine's military were truly just rounding up men at random on the street, there would be little point in systematically destroying recruitment infrastructure. The very fact Russia targets these centers reveals their importance and the falsity of the propaganda. This is the critical point for audiences who may see Kremlin narratives in social media comment sections, even here. And this is why people like Tony Dick need to be constrained, maybe, or at least need to reflect on what they say. And others who insist Ukrainians don't want to fight, it's simply not true. If that were true, these recruitment offices would be empty. Russia wouldn't need to bomb them. Instead, these attacks show Ukrainian willpower to defend their country remains real and sustained despite hardships. The aim of these bombings is to break that will, and it hasn't worked. While Russia bombards cities and civilian centers, Ukraine has been far more disciplined in targeting military objectives inside Russia itself. In recent weeks, Ukrainian forces have successfully struck a factory in the Rostov Air region city of Azov that produces thermal cameras for Russian troops, impairing Russian night vision capabilities, Shahid drone production facility near Moscow, using modified long-range drones capable of deep strikes with precision. These attacks are part of a broader Ukrainian strategy of demilitarizing Russia's war-making capacity at home, an effort with both military and psychological effects. The Kremlin has been forced to close airports, cancel hundreds of flights in Moscow, and confront the spectacle of its capital under repeated drone threat. This is not random terrorism. Ukraine's drones don't target apartment blocks in Moscow. Instead, they are precisely aimed at arms factories, air bases, warehouses full of munitions. And these strikes have reached deep into Russia, some targets over 1,000 kilometers away. The message is unambiguous. Russia's vast territory is no longer safe. Ukrainians are demonstrating to ordinary Russians that their leaders cannot protect them nor control their skies, and that failure of security is itself an existential threat to the Russian regime. Meanwhile, Russia continues its largest ever drone and missile attacks on Kyiv, particularly noticeable after high-level calls between Putin and President Trump. Over 550 missiles and drones were launched in a single night. This intensification underscores the urgency of sustained Western support for Ukrainian air defense systems, because those drones are targeting civilian structures, houses, hospitals, flats. Ukraine needs Patriot systems, Iron Dome-style defenses, interceptors for its F-16s. These are not luxuries, they are necessities to protect hospitals, schools, apartment buildings. While there is new U.S. military aid on the way, including advanced American missiles, There have also been troubling delays driven by internal political debates in Washington, and such hesitancy costs Ukrainian lives. Russia's deliberate bombing of recruitment officers reveals not only its cruelty but also the fundamental lie at the heart of its propaganda. Ukraine's people continue to fight because they believe in freedom and sovereignty, not because they are coerced. And while Russia tries to terrorize citizens, while Russia coerces its citizens, particularly from the Far East, while Russia is picking up its citizens from dance centers, from gyms, at the point of a gun, Ukraine's people continue to fight because they believe in freedom and sovereignty, not because they are coerced. While Russia terrorizes citizens, therefore, Ukraine strikes with precision at military infrastructure, showing a commitment to fighting this war by the rules of a just war and in international law. And we need to continue to support Ukraine not simply as a global obligation, but as a moral one. Because if Russia can get away with this, no one's borders or anyone's freedom is truly safe.